Hello, my name is Mackenzie Hammock, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. So, on the side of the screen, we can see the Jabberwock from the title, but some context for this poem is that it was originally featured in Alice Through the Looking Glass, and it's possibly one of the most well-known nonsense poems, and it's classified as a nonsense poem due to Carroll's use of made-up words throughout, which is my next topic. So it's important to understand that you're not meant to understand all of this poem. This is because Carroll intentionally used made-up words and then intentionally refused to define them. However, he did define the words in the first and final verse, and he did this by having Alice ask Humpty Dumpty about them in the story. And you can see him explaining some of the words on the side of the screen. And he even explains to her what a portmanteau is, which is important later on. But so if we translate the verse on the side, we get that. And you can see all of the made-up words defined in parentheses. And this is the image that it conjures up, which is not anything like what you would first think of when you read it. So the sound is what makes this poem so unique. It's meant to be read out loud. It's meant to be read to children. And the sound of it contributes to the fairy tale feeling of the poem overall and the whimsical nature of the story. So one of the first examples of this is his use of iambic pentameter. This is throughout the poem. It's reliable and it creates a strong sense of rhythm. You can pick any line and you can see this exemplified. For example, beginning of the second verse. Beware the Jabberwock, my son. The jaws that bite, the claws that catch. You can hear the unstressed pattern. Additionally, he uses mostly ABAB or ABCB rhyme schemes throughout the poem. You can see this in the second verse. You see ABAB with sun, catch, shun, bandersnatch. And you can see this you can see the ABCB rhyme scheme in the second to last verse. Jabberwock, boy, Calais, joy. Additionally, the fairy tale and whimsical nature is contributed to by the prevalent use of made-up words. Almost a quarter of the words are made up, and he did this to appeal to children who were used to reading words they didn't understand and having to use context clues to figure them out. This is interesting because this is actually a phenomenon that's studied in preschoolers learning language. They're referred to as Jabberwocky words when they replace real words with made-up words and kind of try and figure out how kids are interpreting them. So you can see the effect this poem has had. But so that, widens its appeal to children and contributes to that fairy tale feeling that we get with, works read to children. A lot of the words he makes up are combinations of words or they seem whimsical, like jub bird, bandersnatch, jabberwock. Talks about some of the words, frabjous, calloo, calais. It's just like that fairy tale feeling created through the made-up sounds. Some other sounds that contribute to the fairy tale feeling are the 7 symmetrical verses. Now, this is really interesting, and this is something that the article by Adam Rose that I cited talks a lot about. And basically, this is obvious in that the first and 7th verses are paired because they're identical, but the 1st and 7th, 2nd and 6th, and 3rd and 5th verses all mirror each other in location, topic, and even speaker. We have an omniscient narrator, and then we have the father speaking. It goes back and forth to create patterns throughout in the sounds. And again, this is most obvious when you hear that repetition, but also just adds to the fact that, 7 and symmetry are often featured in fairy tales, and you can hear that when you're listening to it read. Something else that you pick up on when it's being read aloud, is the repetition and unchanging nature of it. So this story starts and ends the same way. And when you're listening to something read aloud and you're not able to fully process all of it, the first and last things you hear are often the things you remember the most. And those verses really stick out because of the use of, or because those verses have such a high use of made-up words. However, since those are the ones we've been able to define, the sound of those really stands out because, yes, we know that they're made up, but they're new words that we've learned. And so that also helps contribute to the feeling and to the sound overall, and to the fairy tale feeling that's so appealing to kids. It's easy to understand, it's steady, got a rhythm, and it's just fun to read aloud because of the made up words in it. These are my sources. Thank you for watching.